Hey guys, I am sharing another family recipe with you today. I'm sharing my grandmother's recipe for kolaches. If you've never had kolaches, they're a Czech treat. My family is from the Czech Republic, and I grew up on these delicious breakfast pastries. They're like little sweet rolls with jam or fruit filling in the center. We always make these around the holidays, but they're really easy to make, and I want to share the recipe with you. So let's get started. Kolaches are a yeast-based dough, but we don't need to be scared of yeast. I will show you how to do it. So this is 2/3 of a cup of whole milk, and I heated it in the microwave for 30 seconds, just until it's exactly 110. So pour that into a bowl, then add 2 teaspoons of active dry yeast. I keep this in my fridge at all times. It lasts forever. And then we need a little something for our yeast to eat, so I add 2 tablespoons of sugar. That makes them nice and happy. And then we stir this together. And once the yeast is dissolved, I like to add a portion of the flour just to get it going. So I'm gonna add 2/3 of a cup of the flour. And then once the flour is dissolved, I want you to put this in a warm place to double in volume. For me, I put it in the oven in the proofing setting, and it happens in like 20 minutes. So if you have an oven with a proofing setting, I definitely recommend that. If not, on top of the fridge is a nice warm place, on top of the dryer, any place that's warm, because yeast need heat and sugar to grow. So it starts out like this, and then I have some that's already doubled, and then it looks like this. You can see all the bubbles on the surface. So this dough is an enriched dough, which means that eggs or dairy are added to it. So I'm gonna add 6 tablespoons of melted butter. The melted butter is nice and warm, which the yeast love. And stir it in. And then 2 egg yolks, just the yolks. We're gonna save the whites for another dessert. And then let's add the rest of the flour. So that's another 1/3 of a cup plus 1 whole cup. Mix it all together, and then we'll do our second rise. Okay, here's 1/3 of a cup, and then a whole another cup. So it's 2 cups total of flour. I just had you add 2/3 of a cup in the beginning just to get the yeast going. Okay, stir this together, and then I want you to put it back in the same place that you made your dough rise last time. So for me, that's the proof setting in my oven. And this rise is gonna take about 30 minutes if you use the oven, but just let it go until it's doubled in size. Okay, my dough is coming together, but before the rise, I'm gonna knead it for 10 minutes. So let me make some space. You just need to flour the board lightly. This dough isn't terribly sticky, and the more you knead it, the less sticky it gets. So let me show you my kneading technique. So I think the easiest way to knead is to push away and then fold over. Push away, fold over. You can do this with 2 hands. One hand is folding, one hand is pushing. I've been kneading for 10 minutes, and the dough has completely changed character. It's not sticky in any way. I didn't have to flour the board. After that first initial time, it's nice and smooth and soft. It needs to rise one more time, so I'm gonna put it in a bowl, and I'm gonna put it in my oven using the proof setting for about 30 minutes. All right, I have a little helper for the last part of our kolaches. Our dough has doubled in size. Isn't it big? Yeah. So what we're gonna do is divide this into 12 dough balls, and then we're gonna add our fillings. So I went ahead and made our fillings ahead of time. You can make whatever filling you like. My favorite kolache filling is prunes. So I boil 6 prunes with a little bit of honey and water until they're nice and soft. This is just softened cream cheese and powdered sugar. And then my husband really loves the apricot one. So this is really, really thick apricot preserves. Ready? Okay. You wanna punch down our dough? And then I need 12 even dough balls. So the best way to do that is to weigh the whole thing and then divide by 12. Let me show you the best way to make balls so that there's no seams in the dough. Okay, so you can bring it together like this with your hands, but then I want you to stretch the dough over itself and tuck in any edges. That way the top of your kolache is nice and smooth. That looks great. And I have a pie plate here lined with parchment paper. This recipe makes 12 kolaches, so that's perfect for a pie plate. It's time to put our fillings in. I'm gonna use my fingers to make a little indent. So I get 4 prune, you get 4 cream cheese, and your dad gets 4 apricot. So everything is filled. I like to let these rise one more time. They will expand and touch each other and completely fill the pan, and then you bake them at 375 for 18 minutes. Should we bake them now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's put them in the oven.
Okay, our kolaches are done. You can see the nice golden brown edges. Oh, these look scrumptious. For the full recipe, visit dessertfor2.com.